it was really the Arab Spring that demonstrated the power of people using Twitter to share information about what we would traditionally think of as news events, like toppling governments or protests in streets. And yeah, I'd say, we were always, CNN's iReport had been around for a very long time. And so Meredith Artley, who's the editor-in-chief of CNN.com, is going to be on the panel talking about this. So citizen journalism had always been on our radar screen, but it really was the Arab Spring that made a lot of us say, wow, this is a powerful, powerful new force in information gathering and dissemination, and we need to be really cognizant of its powers and its dangers, and treat it as one would treat, any other really vibrant medium for finding and sharing news. You do have everybody shouting into the wilderness, and there are some questions about who's listening, which I think is an opportunity for traditional news organizations to be, the hot word right now is curators, curation. Well, another word for a curator or curation of information is an editor, who takes a wideband stream of information, cuts it down with the reader in mind about what he or she thinks is most germane, and presents it to a viewing or reading public. So I do think that there's an opportunity for traditional news organizations to continue to be something that sifts signal from noise, because there's a lot of noise out there. Journalists and working journalists and major media organizations are probably the most obvious audience. I think a secondary audience should be anybody who cares about the dissemination of information, considers themselves a news consumer, and finds themselves changing their news consumption habits. So that means the audience is hypothetically everybody. Anybody who consumes information for any purpose whatsoever and cares about the quality and the veracity of the information that they're consuming, I think would be a totally valid audience participant and member. I hope that the audience would come away from this panel with a renewed and reinvigorated understanding and appreciation for the difficulties of providing accurate, timely information to wide audiences, and the role that they can play as citizens and citizen journalists themselves, both as participants in a news cycle in a way that people are participants in everyday news cycles in a way that they haven't been before, and as consumers of information.